Hey. Get the football. Run your feet. Hey, you know. Finish.
The Gameday Broadcast Network is proud to present Football Media Day. Football Media Day is brought to you by Lark Brewing Company and Restaurant, Loudoun's #1 destination for great food and great times. And by Integrated Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy. When you need to get back in the game or the game of life, call Robin O'Connor and Integrated Sports Medicine today.
Hundreds of high school athletes have trusted Integrated Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy to help them get back on the field. Don't let that injury go untreated. Call Integrated Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy today at 703-724-7474 or visit us online at integratedsportspt.com. It's where athletes go to get back in the game.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Mike Doherty. I'm the head football coach at Lake Braddock Secondary School in Burke, Virginia. This is my first time here at the Lark Brewing Company, and I'm kind of glad it's not near my house because I don't think I'd ever leave. It's a pretty awesome place. Thank them for hosting. And Gameday magazine, I think my first year in Northern Virginia was the first year you guys got this going, and it's pretty cool to come back year in and year out and see how your program's developed and how you cover sports around here. So real appreciative of the opportunity to talk about this season. So 2023 was a really good year for us at Lake Braddock. We won our first region championship in 10 years. We finished the season 11-3, losing in the state semifinal to Highland Springs, a really talented team. We had about 9 kids from last year's team move on to play in college. We're always real proud of how we develop our kids over their time with us, and to see a lot of them get scholarship opportunities and go on to the next level is kind of one of the staples of our program over the last 8 years. Our off season really starts the minute our season ends. Other than the Red Weeks, our guys, our culture is just, they know that we're getting after it year round. We work out 4 days a week in the off season. I have 2 full-time strength coaches that work with the team, and that's the backbone of what we do. It's too competitive in our area not to be real aggressive in our off season efforts. We've seen kids 10 to 15 pounds of weight gain, bodies transform. We have college coaches come through the building and say that we have kids that already look like college kids, and I take that as a compliment when they tell me that. So training camp this year, we do a series, we do a week of spring practice, we do a week of what we call OTAs. We find if we give it a fancy name, more kids will show up to it. And basically just green days in the off season. We have a record number of kids in the program right now, including our freshmen. We're over 200 kids. We have about 204 kids. And that's a great thing, but at the same time, it's a lot of human beings to get through a practice. I think we have 65 on the freshmen and a little around 125, 10 through 12. And they're all working hard, from the number 1 guy to the number 205th guy. We have the same expectations. We have our culture is surrounded by our kids' work ethic. We started 2-a-days on the 5th, and we go 2-hour session, a break, another 2-hour session. We're just coming off of week 2. We had a scrimmage against Chantilly Friday night. Some good, some bad, some ugly, a lot of things to work on. Our kids are already into the film. They're already looking at the notes the coaches have posted for them. My staff has really developed just a well-oiled machine of how we operate on a week-to-week basis. And one of the things I pointed out in our staff meeting before the scrimmage was we looked like we were in week 6 or 7, just the mood and the speed of the practice. So that's a compliment to my staff. Key returning players, we have 9 kids off of last year's offense that's coming back. Michael Cerise was our quarterback from midseason on last year. Xavier Main and Kai Austin are both William & Mary commits. They'll be playing outside receiver for us. Marwan Diab, Titus Akel will come back on the offensive line. JT Bordeaux comes back in the backfield. Just a lot of guys that are coming back off the 23 team that got to experience, practicing in December and playing in December, which, only 4 teams really get to do every year. So we're hoping that they can bring that back and, and keep that momentum going. We certainly don't want to take any steps backwards. Defensively, Trent Payne is a 2-time All-State defensive tackle. He'll be back. Xavier Main's a 2-way player for us. He being recruited as a linebacker by William & Mary. He just happens to, we never let him leave the field for obvious reasons. And then we have a whole cast of young guys on the defense that played JV or were backups last year. And the competition in practice is intense right now because everybody wants to get on the field. So, it's going to be interesting for us defensively. I think there's high expectations either way. Some of the other key players that are coming back, we do have a quarterback battle going on, Michael Cerise and Ty Jackson. Ty Jackson is a lefty, Michael's a righty, and Ty's a rising junior, Michael's a senior. So we're going to see how that play out. We're going to do our best to get them both on the field quite a bit because we feel like they're 2 of the top quarterbacks in the area for sure. Another young guy to watch is Peyton Holmes. His dad's our track coach, and he decided to come transfer into us, and he's also a running back. So he's going to get some reps, and he's competing right now for that running back spot. And, there's too many to name, but when you have that many guys, we're trying to get everybody reps. So in our scrimmage Friday, we had all different types of combinations of kids. Our season expectations are really not to take any steps backwards. Last year we won the region, but we didn't win our conference. So it's super competitive. There's 4 or 5 teams in our conference that could easily win the region and compete for the state title. So we get serious competition week in and week out. And so our expectations are to win the conference, win the region, and compete for a state championship. And any kid you ask out of those 205 will probably say the same thing. They just will say it in a different way that might offend people. But that's definitely our expectation, is to play into December and compete for state championship.
Coach, you've been doing this a long time. Congrats on the great success last year. Just curious if you have any thoughts on kind of what's changed in all the years that you've been coaching. Whether it be with kids and the expectation level, social media. How has it impacted what you see today as the product of kid that comes into you in your program?
I think the pressure on kids is really tougher now. The 2-sport guys, because there aren't that many that really support a 2-sport kid. I think we do a really good job of it. We have a bunch of lacrosse kids, swimmers, wrestlers, basketball, baseball. I get that because both of my kids were 2-sport athletes, and they had to share and they had to figure it out. And it's really the responsibility of the adults to make that happen for the kid and not put that pressure on them to, you have to play 600 baseball games in a year or lacrosse games or whatever it is. So that's really the biggest change, is the amount of pressure on kids. Social media is what it is. It's, for the most part, it's garbage in, garbage out, but that's all these kids know. And if you're not understanding it and learning how to help them navigate it, you're going to get left behind. So I do my best to be as quote-unquote hip as possible with social media and try to understand how they communicate, how they operate. And it's getting harder every year, but I always have a couple private conversations with some of my older kids. I'm like, what does this word mean? What does this symbol mean? Just off the record, so that I don't come off like I don't know what's going on. But they just smile and help me get through it. But these kids today, they're staring at a screen 24 hours a day, and I don't know how they do it, because clearly when I was a kid we were playing in dirt and jumping fences and throwing rocks at cars and stuff like that. But there's apps for that now, apparently.
Coach, a lot of top players come out of your program. How is the transfer portal affecting that transition from high school to playing at the next level?
I really think it's put another roadblock for high school kids. It's put another step out there, because from the college coaches side of things, they love it, because they're getting a kid that has 2 years of college, that has a college body, that has proven they can go through the rigor of college day-to-day life, over an 18-year-old kid that still has his mom do everything for him. So from a college standpoint, it's the greatest thing ever. From a high school standpoint, it's just another proving ground that you have to go through. I had 3 kids this year that 5 years ago would have had 30 offers that were walk-on kids, and they're the 130th guy on the roster at the school that they're at, and in 2019 they would have been a full ride scholarship guy. So I hope it levels off at some point, because the product that we're selling the kids is, hey, work really hard and maybe you'll get a scholarship. 5 years ago, of the 25 scholarships per class, 20 of those were going to high school kids. Now about 5 of them are going to high school kids. So, the reality of that is, unless you're a blue chip 6'6", 300-pounder, or a kid that can run a sub 4.4, you're not that blue chip kid, and kids can't sit on offers anymore. Kids used to get offers and could sit on them for 6 months and play that little cat and mouse game. You get an offer, you better make a decision in 3 or 4 days, or they're going to move on, because they can. So I think the colleges love it. As a high school coach, it's just another hurdle for these kids to have to go through.
Coach, has that helped you with regard to selling to your kids? And you got a lot of kids in the program, but has it helped you to sell them on the importance of the weight room, nutrition, all the things that you always in the past, you said, hey, you got to do these things. A select group would do it. Now it's like, hey, if you don't do it, you're not even close to being ready to go compete against 22, 23-year-olds. Is that giving you a benefit of your vision with them?
It has. We a lot of our kids come back, and I beg them to come back and talk to the kids in the off season. We have 2 kids that were on the national championship team last year, 2 tight ends, and anytime I can get them to come back in town and just give that group of 20 that are in that conversation, here's the reality. You might walk around here like you own the place and you have a parking spot. When you get to wherever you're going, you're blowing the leaves off that parking spot. So, just any little dose of reality, because a lot of these kids in high school, it's not, the reality is just way off, and we do our best to keep them grounded, but we've been really, really blessed with a lot of talented kids that have gone to big-time schools. Anytime I can get them on campus and get them to just speak to what the process is, and I think they're starting to figure it out, and that's just not just us, it's everywhere, that they don't have to pick you at 18 years old when they got a 20-year-old with 3 years of eligibility left. So it's I think that reality is solid in our program, at least.
Coach, when you look ahead here to the season, you talked about the state semis, playing Highland Springs. What a great program they've been. You guys were there. You're right on the doorstep here. Just what's it going to take for you guys to break through this year, in your opinion?
I think staying healthy was a big key to us last year. Probably talent-wise, I've had some better teams than last year's group. We just got beat up at the wrong time, and when you go through a gauntlet of our conference and you're not healthy, it's hard to, obviously it's hard to compete when you don't have your top guys out there, but staying healthy and just taking it 1 week at a time. I know I got some lofty goals. The kids got some lofty goals of state championships and region championships. It's up to the adults in the room we got to beat Monday today. We got to beat this inside run period today, because kids, they have a tougher time focusing on those details that will actually get you there. But yeah, staying healthy and just staying grounded. All those deadlifts and squats and bench presses and whistles and all those things in February, that's where you win in November and December.
Coach, final question for you. If you can, give us a little snapshot of week 1, maybe a little scouting report for the Bruin fans out there that want to know what you think about the first game of the year.
Week 1, we'll travel to Prince William County and play the Colgan Sharks. They're a very athletic group. We caught them obviously early last year. It was kind of a sloppy game. We came out on top. It's going to be a real good test for us, because I think they're going to have a little bit more speed than us, and we might be a little bit bigger. But we should hopefully put a lot of points on the board and just continue to grow on defense. For us, we practice special teams every day, so we want to win. We have to win on special teams every week. I think 2 of our 3 losses last year, we had a breakdown on the special teams and we came out on the wrong end. So you'll see a Bruin team that's running around the field, up-tempo, and 11 hats to the ball on defense, or, that the consequences for that won't be fun for any of them. So that's kind of our thing.
Coach, it's always great to see you, man. Good luck this year to you all at Lake Braddock, and we look forward to watching the Bruins play, man.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
There you go, Chad. Hey. Get the football. Run your feet. Hey, you know. Finish.
The Gameday Broadcast Network is proud to present Football Media Day. Football Media Day is brought to you by Lark Brewing Company and Restaurant, Loudoun's #1 destination for great food and great times. And by Integrated Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy. When you need to get back in the game or the game of life, call Robin O'Connor and Integrated Sports Medicine today.
Hundreds of high school athletes have trusted Integrated Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy to help them get back on the field. Don't let that injury go untreated. Call Integrated Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy today at 703-724-7474 or visit us online at integratedsportspt.com. It's where athletes go to get back in the game.